The movie takes place in the bustling streets of Spring Avenue, Hong Kong, home to a renowned local eatery, The Seven. This 30-year-old restaurant is famous for its Southern-style cuisine, masterfully prepared by the gifted Sky Co., its head chef. Sky, a culinary prodigy, has earned the admiration of both locals and tourists alike, often hailed as the best chef in the entire neighborhood. His meticulous attention to detail and commitment to perfection have made The Seven a hotspot, often with lines of hungry patrons waiting outside. Sky's unwavering dedication to his craft is evident when a popular TV host arrives to feature the restaurant on a culinary program. On national television, Sky effortlessly showcases his talents, solidifying his reputation even further. Alongside him is his lifelong friend, Uni, who manages the financial side of the restaurant. Together, they have built an institution that has become a beloved part of the community. Sky, however, is not one to rest on his laurels. He is a firm believer in the quality of food, service, and time dedicated to each dish, ensuring that every meal prepared at The Seven is nothing short of exceptional. The restaurant is often so packed that customers are forced to queue outside. One fateful day, a rude customer barges into the line and demands to be served. Despite not waiting his turn, Sky refuses to comply, even when the man boasts of his wealth and power, hinting that he could destroy The Seven with a mere flick of his finger. Before leaving, the man sneers, revealing that his boss, a powerful business tycoon, has hired a world-class chef to open a 3-star restaurant right across the street. While Uni is initially dismissive of the threat, Sky cannot ignore the possibility of losing his restaurant to this new competition. Meanwhile, in France, the royal family has gathered to celebrate the birth of their newborn son. The king and queen host a grand ball in his honor, inviting guests from all over the world. To add a touch of luxury to the event, they enlist the services of Chef Paul, a Michelin-starred Korean chef trained in France. Known for his ability to blend various cuisines, Paul is renowned for his innovative and boundary-pushing approach to cooking. At the ball, Paul presents a unique dessert, a red egg filled with mango puree and coconut, symbolizing a traditional blessing for newborns. The royals are deeply moved by the dish, applauding Paul's creativity and the meaning behind it. Back at the restaurant where Paul works, the staff celebrates his success, and the owner announces that Paul has been promoted to executive chef of the Art Nouveau franchise, a significant career milestone. However, to everyone's surprise, Paul declines the offer. Instead, he decides to return to Asia and pursue a more ambitious goal. He and his assistant Mario have been invited by a Chinese businessman to help open a prestigious 3-star restaurant. As Paul bids farewell to his colleagues, back in Hong Kong, Sky hears from a loyal customer that the rumors about the new restaurant opening across the street are true. The news weighs heavily on him. While Sky has always dreamed of expanding The Seven, the idea of facing fierce competition from a 3-star restaurant leaves him with mixed emotions. His thoughts are clouded by painful memories of his childhood. When Sky was just 10 years old, his father, a former chef, cruelly abandoned him, claiming that Sky had no talent in the kitchen. This traumatic experience has shaped Sky into the dedicated chef he is today. Despite his father's harsh words, Sky has found a father figure in Uncle Seven, the master and owner of The Seven, who took him in and taught him everything he knows about food. Sky hasn't seen or spoken to his father in over 20 years and has no desire for reconciliation. The arrival of Chef Paul in Hong Kong marks a turning point in the story. On a visit to the local market, Paul attempts to purchase a rare grouper fish. However, Sky, who has been eyeing the same fish, argues with Paul over who should get it. The two chefs have a brief but intense exchange before the market vendor, seeing the dispute escalate, decides to split the fish in half and sell it to both chefs. Little do they know that this chance encounter will lead to an intense culinary rivalry that will shape their futures. Weeks later, the grand opening of Stellar, the 3-star restaurant across from The Seven, becomes the talk of the town. The chairman and manager of Lee Management Group, the company backing the new restaurant, are the first to arrive, greeted by Paul and his assistant Maya. Meanwhile, Sky and his team at The Seven launch a series of discount promotions to attract customers. Tensions rise as a group of security guards from Stellar tries to stop the promotion, and a heated confrontation ensues. Maya, seeing an opportunity to settle the score between the two restaurants, suggests holding a competition to determine who is the superior chef. Sky and Paul, recognizing each other from the market, agree to the challenge. The competition takes the form of a fish-cutting contest, where both chefs must demonstrate their knife skills. Paul goes first, skillfully filleting a fish in record time, leaving the audience in awe. Sky, not to be outdone, quickly cuts his fish into perfectly even pieces, earning applause from the crowd. Even Paul, usually confident in his abilities, is impressed. The chairman of Lee Management Group, in an attempt to settle the rivalry once and for all, announces that the true test will come at the International Chef Challenge competition, where both chefs will face off for the title of World's Best. The winner of this competition will hold the power to shape the future of Spring Avenue, as the chairman plans to tear down the entire neighborhood to modernize it. Sky is faced with an agonizing decision. If he wins, the chairman will abandon his plans to demolish Spring Avenue and preserve its historical charm. If Paul wins, however, the destruction of the area will proceed. However, the pressure begins to mount as the number of customers at the 7 starts to dwindle. Uni, concerned about the future of the restaurant, urges Sky to adjust their menu to compete with the new restaurant, but Sky remains resolute, believing that there will always be customers who prefer their authentic flavors. Sky's resolve is tested further when he discovers that Stellar has purchased all of the fresh fish from the market, leaving him with little choice but to work with what is available. Despite this setback, Sky receives the news that he has been selected to participate in the International Chef Challenge. However, his excitement is short-lived when he learns that his opponent in the semifinals will be none other than his estranged father, Mountain Cow, a 2-time champion of the competition. The realization stirs up a mix of anger, resentment, and determination within Sky. The night before the competition, Sky meets with his father for the first time in years. To his dismay, Mountain remains unapologetic, continuing to belittle his son's abilities. Despite the hurtful words, Sky vows to win the competition, not only to prove his worth as a chef, but also to show that talent is not determined by one's character or background. On the day of the competition, Sky and Paul each prepare a dish of their choice. Sky makes a traditional salt-baked duck, while Paul opts for a foie gras sorbet. The intensity of the 90-minute challenge is palpable as both chefs demonstrate their exceptional skills. In the end, Sky's dish wins over the judges with its rich flavor and perfect execution, while Paul's sorbet receives praise for its creativity and presentation. However, when the final scores are tallied, the results are surprising. Paul receives a score of 37 out of 40, while Sky is awarded a mere 2 out of 10 by 2 judges. Despite this, Sky's passion and technique leave a lasting impression on the audience. As the competition continues, Paul faces a betrayal from within his own team. Maya, eager to prove herself as a better chef, exposes Paul's secret struggle with his taste buds and his reliance on a recipe notebook. Feeling humiliated and betrayed, Paul storms out of the restaurant, vowing never to return. In a moment of unexpected camaraderie, Sky encounters Paul, who is drunk and disillusioned outside an event stadium. The two chefs, momentarily forgetting their rivalry, share their painful pasts and express mutual respect for one another. Paul confides that his father, a renowned chef, once asked him to follow in his footsteps, a burden that has haunted him throughout his career. Sky, too, shares his painful memories of his father's abandonment. Together, they find solace in their shared struggles. Determined to continue the competition, Paul decides to enter as an individual chef. Despite being disqualified by Stellar, Sky, recognizing the importance of this moment, joins forces with Paul for the semifinals. Together, they train and combine their strengths, blending tradition with innovation to create unique dishes that showcase their culinary prowess. The semifinals, held at Studio City Casino in Macau, are a fierce battleground, with both Sky and Paul competing against 4 other talented chefs from around the world. Amid the intense competition, Mayo, who has entered to prove herself superior to Paul, struggles to keep up. Her dish, an oyster creation with frozen foam, initially impresses the judges, but falls short when tasted. Meanwhile, Paul and Sky present a deconstructed mapo tofu, expertly balancing flavor and technique. Their dish receives high praise from the judges, propelling them into the finals. As the final competition approaches, Sky faces the ultimate test, a showdown with his estranged father. In the intense one-hour cook-off, both chefs prepare dishes that reflect their culinary journey. Mountain presents an intricate sugar sculpture, while Sky makes a simple yet meaningful dish, noodles, symbolizing his reconciliation with his past. In a surprising turn, Sky offers the bowl of noodles to Mountain, a gesture that speaks volumes about his growth and maturity. Mountain, moved by the dish's significance, silently acknowledges his son's talent. While the judges are unable to declare a winner, the true victory lies in the father-son reconciliation that takes place in that moment. In the closing scenes, a crowd gathers outside the Seven to celebrate Chinese New Year. Sky and Paul, now partners in both cooking and friendship, prepare a feast for their loyal customers, marking the beginning of a new chapter for both their careers. The film ends with a message of redemption, the power of tradition, and the enduring bond of family.